Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Josh. Welcome back to another Minecraft video. Today I'm here with my favorite mod ever, well, of 2014 so far, and it is called the Better Grass and Leaves mod. Ready? Here you go. I'm kidding, guys. Basically what you do is you hit F9 to activate it, and you guys can see right here we have that awesomeness, Better Grass and Leaves. It looks absolutely fantastic. You can see the leaves look like they're higher rendered, and over there too, and whoops, you can see down here we have more grass and we have everything's fantastic. I really like it. So let's talk about everything the mod adds. So the first thing you guys are going to want to know about this mod is that it has a menu option and a turn off option. So you're actually able to turn off the mod in game without uninstalling it if you don't like the way it looks at a certain point or whatnot. And so what you do is you hit F9 to turn it off. Now the reason I'm getting these lines here from a separate mod I've installed, and it's alright, but F9 to turn it on, I'm going to turn it off, I'm just going to hit it a few times. There we go, that should be on. And you can see that it adds an effect back in. Now you also have your F10 menu, which is your settings menu, and you can see it has a really long list of settings. And I also really like the way that the settings work. They're better than most settings I've seen in mods that have been implemented, or even the vanilla Minecraft settings. I really like this overlay that the mod creator implemented. Anyway, in the settings you have all these different options, starting with your grass options, then your leaves options, and moving on. I'll show you all the other options in a minute. But let's start here with the grass. So the better grass, let's say you don't like this but you like the leaves, well, turn the grass off, then hit done, and boom. You still have your awesome leaves, but you have the grass here and gone, which is cool. Then, let's turn that back on for now. And then you have different grass renders. So what we have on right now are the standard grass renders, or what we have right here. And you can see that's the grass renders. Well, let's put experimental mode on. And you can see that experimental mode really adds an experimental render to the game. And it's kind of weird. I'm not sure what my opinions on this are. What do you guys think about this? I think it's kind of weird, but also kind of cool at the same time. Anyway, let's turn it back to standard because I like it. Then you have the grass, what is this? The grass sides. So you either have these fast grass sides like that, which they kind of go down, or you have the fancy grass sides, and these ones kind of stick up and down and go all over the place, which is kind of cool. I'm not sure also which one I like of that, but I do think that the sides are pretty cool. Now, then you have snowed grass. So let's say you have some grass with snow on it. Let's spawn that. Let's see. We can grab some snow. Let's go this. Let's place that. You can see that you have some snowed grass right on top, just like so. And it's kind of cool the way that it adds that. Now, back in our F10 menu, we have moving grass FX. So basically you have off, fast, and fancy. And what I have on now is fancy. You can see when I walk around, we have this grass that kind of goes behind you. And when you go through things or start sprinting, I don't really know what it's supposed to be like, but it's still kind of cool. But I'm just going to go with off for this because I'm not a super big of a fan of it. Then your average grass height. So this is customizable from 0 to 1. And they go up, standard's 5, and then your brightness of the grass. So your brightness, I recommend it keeping at 1, because this is kind of weird. Anyway, let's keep that up, and let's talk about the leaves now. So all the leaves in here are completely re-rendered and redone into more of a shaped way. So they still are their standard box, but you can see you can break them, even place them, and they still have things sticking out of them with a bigger render area. So in here, you have all these different options. Obviously, you can disable it just like how you can disable the grass. But then you have these leaves renderer. So you can either be on standard, advanced, or experimental. So here's the standard leaves. Here's the standard ones that this mod adds. You can see it's kind of more, just more sticking out and whatnot. Kind of cool, but I don't really like that one of the options. So we can go to advanced, which is this bigger bushy one, which I really like, and it's definitely my favorite model. Like this mod, this is what makes the mod fantastic, as well as the grass and stuff, but these leaves make it great. And then you also have your experimental. Alright guys, ready for some laughing? Like what? What is this? I don't understand. I think that the experimental looks really weird. I do not like that. Definitely do not like that. Then you have your rounded vanilla leaves, which are on or off. So if we want vanilla leaves rounded off, well then you have these guys right here, and you can see when we turn it like this, turn this off, well, there you go, you have your rounded. And then I think when you turn it on, it kind of, yeah, they round out just a little bit more, but still, I think that the better leaves make it just so much better. Then you have your snow-leaved, obviously, so let's look at that. Snow leaves look just like that. You can see that the snow kind of goes right down into there, and it's got a bigger little render to it, which is kind of cool as well. Anyway, what we have next are the falling leaves effects. So in the falling leaves, you have off, fast, and fancy. What I have now is fancy, and you can see that the leaves are going to kind of fall like that. If you guys have seen any other mods, I believe the mod, the tornado mod had this effect. Something like that with leaves, but the fancy one here kind of makes them spin and look like a small little box falling, like a smaller cube, which is kind of cool, and then they fall and then slowly disappear. And what's cool about it is that it won't actually happen unless you're looking at the tree. Well, yeah, when you're looking at it you see it, but like when you're like this, you're not going to see them falling until you're directly looking at a tree, and maybe even just leaves. Nah, you got to be close to leaves, but it's cool. And then you also, like I said, have your off and then fast. The fast kind of looks a little bit less rendered. You can see it's not a box, it's more of just a falling kind of particle. Oh well, it's still cool. I like the fancy though. So, let's keep that. Then you have your falling leaves FX spawn rate. So between 1 and 0, you guys get what that does. Then render only outer leaves. Now I turn this off because this on looks kind of better off in my opinion. So what it says here is when you go over it, it says, come on equals better performance, off is not. So I like it on more. It kind of adds a little bit better of an effect, but it's still better on in my opinion. And then you have your better leaves brightness. So if you want the leaves to look absolutely terrible, well then turn it off. But keep that brightness all the way up if you guys would like better leaves. Nice. So you guys are probably assuming that's the end of this video, but absolutely not. The mod has gone beyond and it's added even more awesomeness to the game, and that's why I call this mod my favorite, because it would be very simple if you just had that there. Anyway, coming over here, you guys can see that we have better cacti. So the cacti kind of have things sticking out of them now. They've got little bushels coming out the sides and whatnot. Very cool. And it also has a right here, better cacti in its brightness and stuff. I really like that and the look of it. There, let's see if we can get some sand. We'll start here. Let's just place one. You can see it's like that, and then they slowly build off each other. And you can see that they just kind of spawn little sides and whatnot, which is very cool. Then we also here have these reeds, I believe what they're called. Yeah, these reeds, and they only render if the block above the water is air. So let's say we place like this, and then we go like that. Well, there's not going to be reeds that render, because go like that, there's still air. So only if the block above the water is air will reeds render, and it doesn't render in every single block with air above it. Then we have better lily pads. So you can see the lily pads here. They're kind of off a little bit in sides, but this one right here has a little flower on it, which is very cool. And if we head to a bigger water source, like over here, you could see that, well, we have our reeds on the side of the water. And, ready for this, guys? You can see our reeds right here and right there. But as we plummet underneath, well, we have better algae too. So you can see all these little things kind of being in here and looking around like little particles. Well, that's algae. And then right here, we have other stuff like the, what is it? I believe, I can't think of what it's called, but they have coral in the settings, and you can see as we go down, we have our seaweed or corals. So you can see the maximum coral depth is 50. Well, the maximum coral depth, whatnot, population, we'll set that. Minimum coral depth, we'll set that as, we'll set that as 0. Better coral brightness, and then rising bubble FX spawn rate. So if we turn the brightness down, let's see if we can find any coral in here. Well, that looks more of like algae and stuff. And what we see, Very cool. We need to find an ocean, though, to find the better coral. I'm guessing that's why we can't find it. But there is coral in here. I have seen it in a different world. I'm assuming that it's not going to spawn in this here because it's, well, not a spawnable area. Anyway, what we also have that this mod adds, a few other things. We also have the lily pads, and you can see the power, or the flower population. So if we increase that, I believe that it's actually going to spawn, like how rare lily or flowers will spawn on lily pads. So being all the way up will obviously spawn it with a lot of lily pads on, or flowers on their lily pads. Well, except for that one. Finally, I believe there's one other thing that this mod adds. You see that it adds the better ladders, better or footprint effects. Then we have the rising soul effects. See, I'm not quite sure what that is. They have the water suspended effects and blood effects. Cool. So if we have water, let's grab that. I'm assuming that if we place it down here and it's suspending, well, that's what I thought, but, well, maybe I'm wrong with that, but it's still, I thought that's what it's going to be like. Maybe if we put it underneath. I don't know, I couldn't figure out when testing either, but I was kind of hoping that this would work, maybe. Oh well. And then we have the footprints. Now, one thing I'm confused about is I can't actually find my footprints, unless it's, like, on something. But there aren't footprints on here, and they don't trail behind us or anything. So that's kind of weird. Also, the netherrack doesn't work. I don't see that, like, in the better netherrack. If we head over here to some netherrack, it's really not changing our netherrack spawn at all. So, maybe that hasn't been implemented yet. That's what I'm assuming. Then we also have the ladders. So let's look at this. Ladder. Oops, there's D's in ladders, not T's. And we can place this down. You can see that they've got more of a 3D model to the ladder, which is very cool, and I like that a lot. Now, finally, guys, for the last very cool thing that this mod adds is the blood. Now, the blood, as you guys can probably assume, well, it has blood spew out of animals or entities when spawned, and it was added to every single vanilla mob, so you can do that. Then you can also change the color settings or the settings for the colors in your configs and stuff, but you can see that blood kind of spews, and then look at how it lands on the ground. It literally will land on the ground wherever it goes. It doesn't care about being oriented correctly. You can see it fades out very slowly until, well, ultimately, it's gone. So, I think it's really cool the way that it just spews the blood out, and then it lands wherever it lands, and it doesn't care about actual orientations or whatnot. Find that awesome. You can see pigs also work for. You can see that's going to spew out. I also really like the way that it kind of looks like it's going out and then finally going. Now for horses. And then for creepers, you can see it spews out green, which is very funny and awesome. But yeah, guys, I believe that's really all this mod adds into the game. If I'm missing anything, I apologize, but at this point, that's all I could really figure out and whatnot. It doesn't have a great forum post for telling what's in here, but I really like it. It's also very compatible with other mods, and if you have, like, Biomes of Plenty or Better Biomes, whatever that mod's called, the one in FTB packs, it also works with that. And then if anything's not implemented in the mod, the creator actually will give you detailed instructions how to add leaves that are implemented. So I really, really like this mod. I hope you guys do too. Check it out if you would like. There'll be a link in the description. And you can see that it also just kind of goes across there. Then there's our grass. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much what I have for you guys. If you enjoyed, could you please leave a rating and let me know how I did? And I will see you guys all in the next one. Bye. Wait, no. Let's kill a sheep. Yeah. Oh, there's the footprints. I found it. Footprints in snow. That makes sense. Found it. Alright, guys, bye.